I'm Danielle Ofri, editor of Bellevue Literary Review. Each spring, BLR publishes our annual contest issue. Prize-winning poetry, fiction, and nonfiction stories are selected by our panel of judges, and what results is a vibrant portrait of health, illness, healing, and the human experience. So it's no wonder that multimedia artist Nicole Cohen's detailed paintings of bookshelf portraits resonated with us for issue 46. To really understand Nicole's unique approach to capturing a life in books, I decided to hop on the bus to visit her Lower Manhattan studio. Nicole Cohen works in video, painting, and drawing to explore issues of portraiture and identity. Her work often includes found and archival material to recontextualize both the individual and the place. As we approached her studio, I asked Nicole about the art in the hallway.
So this is a project called Vintage, which is this is actually where I used to live in New Jersey, but I superimpose people from the past. This is somebody from the 40s walking away, and you can see, like, if you look closely, you can see like the street through the person. So she's translucent, yeah. So the idea is, I'm always wondering who I'm overlapping with historically, right. But I always put them where they're not looking at you, because I feel like it's out of respect. Like, they're like, I had my time. I'm not jealous that you're here.
And where did you find the old photos?
So they're from different archives that I get permission to use.
Do you ever dig around in garage sales and just things?
Oh yeah, I love that. And baskets of like old photos, and I use a lot of my own archive too.
Got it. All right, let's see what's over here.
Yeah. So this one is called like Just Walk Away. And this was one of the first ones that I did in the park. I had my son playing in the jungle gym, and
I love it. You can see the sun right through the dress.
I don't know if you've ever had that experience, like when I walk in the snow and I see like the footprints, I'm like, whose prints are these? You know, like it's this overlapping of people and their presence.
It's kind of encompassing a life.
A life.
It's sort of holistic about.
Exactly, a life, and I don't know these people. So it's like this way to connect with people on a lineage.
Well, it strikes me, as a physician, we don't know our patients, but we have to sort of come at them from a distance,
yes,
but also up close. But we're not their friends or family. It's a different kind of relationship. Nicole's handling of this distance between subject and viewer is powerful. Her work encompasses a spectrum of closeness between viewer, subject, and place through varied techniques and mediums. Abstraction and painting, Nicole says, are languages she is very familiar with. But there was one painting in particular that I was angling toward. So tell us about this painting that's on the cover of BLR.
So the painting is a collection of contemporary art books that were collected from a friend of mine who was ill. And so I was looking at her books and kind of using it as a way to feel like a connection with her. And her stepmother sent me images of all of her books. And I was kind of like, what are we going to do with these books? And I just didn't really know. So I was painting them, and I was like, wow, I love that book. And I didn't know she had that book. And it really made me have like a strong connection with her through her books. And I felt like it's like a portrait of somebody through their interests. But it was very interesting to see like what people actually have on their shelves, and they're beautiful objects.
Right. When you go to people's homes, do you look at their bookshelves first?
Yes, I do.
Really? Yeah. Now, did you paint this right to left or left to right?
So I actually, yes, I have a studio also where I live, and I had this installed. Like, I just started painting it from right to left, and actually, there's even more that keep going around the room circling. It just kind of never stopped. And then a strange thing happened, because I was painting them and I thought I would never be able to have them physically, but then stepmother sent them to me. So they came after I had already been painting them. And it was like, I felt like I was reconnected with a friend, just to see the yeah, to be able to like look and not just look at the spines, but to look and feel them and the textures. And I love them even more. It just became like a really amazing way to connect. And I started doing this for other people too. Like my father is an economist and writer, and his wife is a futurist, and she wrote all these books, and they're always publishing books. So I said, I'm going to start doing portraits of them through their books. And I was like, wait a minute, I have books too, catalogs. So I could do some of those.
So it's a life in books.
Yeah, it just sort of started because I liked the color, and it was a way to connect with somebody who I couldn't connect with, who was struggling with health issues. And so it was really took on a life of its own. And so it became very healing.
To conclude our visit, Nicole took us to her latest installation, an elaborate video animation of the very books featured on BLR's cover, set in one of my favorite places, the grand reading room of the New York Public Library on 42nd Street. So tell us about this installation.
So this is the New York Public Library in New York, and contemporary art books. And these are the actual books from the painting.
Oh my gosh.
That are on the cover, superimposed or drawn in through animation into the library. So it's supposed to be like watching a moving painting.
Oh.
But the idea is sort of to personify them and like give life to the writing, and the writing almost like, they have like their own feelings about what they're possessing.
Well, I mean, the books really, each one is its own little life. You open the book, you're opening a new life.
Yeah. And you remember like books that you've read, and you put them back on your shelf, you take them off, and they're like, you have a relationship with them. I feel like they all are stories about particular artists too, and capture projects and exhibitions. We only see them like on the table stacked, but
they're alive.
They're alive and they're embodied. That's where I felt like I had to also do a video in conjunction with the books. Since I mainly work in video too, I was like, I want to see them move. And actually, when I started my art, like back when I went to graduate school, I made paintings, and I made soundtracks for my paintings, and I made animations projecting onto them. So I always thought of a painting as theatrical, as something that was a performance. And I was like, why do you have to be quiet, in an art museum? This is like more of my philosophy of the theater of literature.
Well, that is beautiful. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for having us. This was wonderful. Whether it's as theater, as portrait, or in flight, no one captures the powerful relationship between literature and people quite like Nicole Cohen does. When we choose the poetry, fiction, and nonfiction for each issue of BLR, we are, in essence, scanning the bookshelf of each writer's mind, seeking just that volume that will fit with our themes of health, illness, and healing. And when all these volumes come together, they flourish on the page, waiting for you, our readers, to catch them.